Hello, everybody. My name is Todd, and welcome to the CINCILINGUA membership program. It's great to have you as a member of our program here. And as many of you know, I'm sure, CINCILINGUA is a language institute, and we are located here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Cincinnati is located in is a city located in the Midwestern region of the United States of America. And again, it's a pleasure to have you with me here today for this lesson video. And in this lesson video, we are going to continue with our series of idiomatic expressions. Okay, and the first idiom that we are looking at here is this idiom, at all. At all. And this idiom is used in negative expressions, and it means to any degree. It's a very emphatic idiom, okay? And you'll see this in our example sentence, but it means to any degree. And our example, it reads, Maria is a vegetarian. She never eats meat. She does not eat meat at all. Again, Maria is a vegetarian. She never, at any time, eats meat. She does not eat meat at all. No meat. Okay, so it's a very emphatic expression or very emphatic idiom. Okay, it can mean to any degree, or it can mean, in this case, it actually means like at any time, is the idea here. Okay, and we have another example here. I am happy to pay for your dinner. I don't mind paying at all. I am happy to pay for your dinner. I don't mind paying at all. I have no objections at all. I'm happy to do it. It's my pleasure. My pleasure. Okay. No problem at all. Okay. Again, very emphatic. And another example. He always drops the ball. He always drops the ball. He is not athletic at all. He is not athletic at all. He has no skills. He has no athletic ability at all. None. None, none, none. So this is the idea. Again, it's emphatic. All right, now our next idiom is to think over. To think over is an example of what we call a phrasal verb. Phrasal verb is a verb that is followed by usually one preposition, sometimes two, but phrasal verbs are very common in English. We have a lot of them, and they are kinds of idioms. Okay, not all idioms are phrasal verbs, but all phrasal verbs are idioms. And this is an example of phrasal verb idiom. And to think over means to consider or to think about. To consider or to think about. To think about, another phrasal verb. It's a synonym for to think over. An example. I must decide what to wear for my job interview. I will have to think it over. I must decide what to wear for my job interview. I will have to think it over. Okay, I will have to think about it. It's the idea. And think, the verb in this idiom, is an irregular verb. And the base form here is think, simple past form, thought, and the past participle form, thought. Think, thought, thought. think, thought. Another example. Jose needs some time to think over his options before he makes his move. Jose needs some time to think over his options before he makes his move. He needs to think over his options. He needs to think about them. He needs to consider them. Okay, that's the idea. Now we have sooner or later. Sooner or later means eventually. Something will happen. Well, it will happen in a minute, or it may happen in a week, 2 weeks, but sooner or later, eventually, it will happen. That's the idea here, sooner or later. An example, I am tired of the cold winter. But sooner or later, the weather will become warmer. I'm tired of the cold winter. Sooner or later, the weather will become warmer. Eventually, the warm weather will come back. Okay, that's the idea. Another example, the police will solve the crime eventually. They will arrest the criminal sooner or later. Maybe today, maybe next week, maybe next year, but eventually, sooner or later, they will arrest the criminal. Okay, there you got it, sooner or later. To pull off, we have another example of a phrasal verb, phrasal verb idiom. And to pull off means to succeed in doing something difficult. So you have a challenge, it's not easy, but you succeed. So you pull off. To succeed in doing something difficult is to pull off that endeavor. Our example here, no one expected that Jeff would finish the race at his age, but he pulled off a surprising finish. No one expected that Jeff would finish the race at his age, but he pulled off a surprising finish. Okay. He succeeded in doing something difficult. And the verb in this idiom is a regular verb. Okay, pull is a regular verb, and that means that the simple past tense has that ed on the end, pulled, and also the past participle has that ed on the end, pulled. And this is true of all of our regular verbs. The simple past form will have the ed, and the past participle will have that ed. So pull, pulled, pulled, regular verb. We have another example here. Because she is blind, Jane had to learn Braille to read. She was able to graduate from college. It was difficult, but she pulled it off. She did it. She accomplished it. She succeeded. Because she is blind, Jane had to learn Braille to read. She was able to graduate from college. It was difficult, but she pulled it off. She succeeded. Okay, to pull off. All right, so we've looked at 4 idioms in this lesson video, 4 idiomatic expressions, and we started with at all. At all is a very emphatic expression, and it means to any degree or never at any time is the idea. I don't like the smell of sour milk at all. It's terrible. I don't like it at all. And we said that this expression is used in negative statements. Okay, it's used in negative statements. To think over is a phrasal verb. A synonym would be to think about. To think about, it means to consider. To consider. Think over your options. You think over your plans. You think about your plans. You think about your options. Okay, you consider them. And sooner or later means eventually, at some point. It might be soon, it might be in a minute, it might be tomorrow, or it might be at a later time. It might be a year, it might be 2 years, but eventually, sooner or later, something will happen. Okay, sooner or later, the weather will change. Okay. And then to pull off means to do something that is, to succeed in doing something that is difficult, very challenging. Okay, you might pull off a victory in a very difficult competition. You know, oh, it was a very difficult competition, but I pulled it off. I won. Or might be a difficult assignment that you had to complete for work. You had a deadline and you finished it. It was good. What you produced was good, and you pulled it off. You succeeded in what you attempted to do, and what you did in fact do. All right, so that's going to wrap it up here for this lesson video. Before signing off here, I want to wish you a wonderful remainder of your day. Now, I want to thank you again for being members of our membership program. And yeah, I just want to say that I'm looking forward to working with you in future and other lesson videos. So thanks again. Signing off from Cincinnati, Ohio. Bye-bye.